Welcome, everyone. My name is Jennifer Brown, and I work for the North Carolina Cooperative Extension Service in Person and Granville counties. I'd like to let you know about a program that we have coming up soon. It's called the Diabetes Prevention Program. Otherwise, I call it Life in 24. This is a collaborative partnership between the Cooperative Extension Office and the Person County Health Department. And we are looking to start a new program in June of 2021 here in Person County. So let me give you a little bit more information about it. So the Life in 24 program, we call it that because it actually takes place over the course of a year, but don't let that scare you yet. Listen to what's involved in it and how much you get from it. There's about 24 to 28 sessions throughout the year, so it's spread out a little bit. But the diabetes prevention program is for individuals who have not yet been diagnosed as diabetic. Maybe you've been diagnosed with prediabetes or borderline diabetes, or you just know that you are at risk for becoming diabetic. This is a program that I myself, as a trained lifestyle coach, along with Leanne Crisson from the health department, offer to the citizens of Person County to help them lower their weight through healthy eating, be more physically active, and overcome any of the barriers that they might face that will prevent them from losing that weight and being more physically active. Now, we have two main goals of the program, and this is something that we expect from the participants for them to work towards these goals. And remember, this course takes over the span of a year. So you have a year to do this, but more information on that later. Two goals is to lose 5 to 7% of your starting body weight. So every week you come to this program, or every session you come to this program and you get on our scale and we weigh you. We also ask that you do moderate physical activity for 150 minutes a week. And this is something that you're going to work up to. We don't expect at week 2 that you're already at that level. Over the course of a couple of weeks, a couple months, we hope that you get there. We always encourage people to focus on maybe the first 6 months of the program, being able to achieve that weight loss and being able to get to that 150 minutes per week. And from then on, all you have to do is maintain throughout the program. We provide a lot of information and sessions about how you can eat healthy and be active. We encourage you to monitor your habits, such as finishing or completing a food log and a fitness journal. Write down what you're eating. Write down how much physical activity you are. See if you can, what you notice when you're looking at that log. Throughout it all, we want you to be positive. Let us know if you have any barriers so that we can problem solve that with you and help keep you motivated. And this is not a short-term diet or weight loss program. We want to change your life. We want to create a healthier lifestyle, a long-term lifestyle change, just by making simple little changes throughout this program. This is a program from the CDC, or the Centers for Disease Control. It's evidence-based, which means that it's been tested throughout the years. It's over a decade old, and we teach it here the same way it might be taught in other states across the country. That's what makes it valid, is you know that you're getting the same quality that anyone else across the nation is getting. And the research shows that participants that participate in this diabetes prevention program cut their risk of developing diabetes by over half. I've mentioned the 5 to 7% weight loss. Well, what that means is for someone who's 200 pounds, losing 5 to 7% would be about a 10 to 14 pound weight loss. So you can see it doesn't take a drastic weight loss to make a big impact on your health. You can always shoot for a bigger goal. We encourage you just to start with the 5% goal. And when you hit that, you can set a new goal for yourself. But we don't want you to overextend or try to make your goals too lofty in the beginning. You'll get there. Remember, you didn't get in this condition overnight. You're not going to get out of it overnight. To participate or be eligible for our diabetes prevention program, we have a couple of eligibility requirements. One of them is you must be 18 years or older. You must have a body mass index of 25 or higher. Now you can find online a body mass index calculator, and it'll ask for your height and your weight, and then it'll give you a BMI number. And 25 or higher just means that you're in the overweight category. Other ways is if you have had gestational diabetes, you were diabetic during pregnancy, and or you have been currently diagnosed with prediabetes or borderline diabetes, or you're just considered to be at risk for type 2 diabetes. At risk could be done with a blood test. If you have numbers that are, in a certain level, that would qualify you for the program. Or you can complete a paper risk test. Again, if you've already been diagnosed with type 2 or even type 1 diabetes, unfortunately, this program is not for you. But we do have other resources and other programs you might be interested in. So we'll give you our contact information at the end of this video. So now I'm going to share the risk test with you. This is a form that, again, is developed by the CDC and the National Diabetes Prevention Program. We have paper copies of all of this paperwork, so you can always call or email one of us to get these sent to you through email. So the first question is, how old are you? Depending on which category you're in, that would determine how many points you give. So if you're 50 to 59, you'd get 2 points. If you're 60 years and older, you'd get 3 points. So you just write down your points in that box. Are you a man or a woman? 1 point for men, 0 for women. If you're a woman, have you ever been diagnosed with gestational diabetes? If you have, you get another point. Do you have any close relatives, such as a mother, a father, a sister, or a brother who have diabetes, or maybe they've already passed on, but they did have diabetes? You would get a point because it can be hereditary and it makes you more at risk for it. Have you ever been diagnosed with high blood pressure? A lot of heart conditions are closely linked with diabetes. So if you've been diagnosed with something like high blood pressure, it'll make you more at risk for diabetes. So you get a point for that. The next question is a little more subjective, so I'll give you some more information to help. But are you physically active? Yes or no? We quantify physical activity as that 150 minutes. So on average, in any given week, are you active for 150 minutes per week? If you are, then the answer would be yes, and you get 0 points. But if you don't consistently get that 150 minutes per week, then you would put no, and you'd get a point. Then we look at your weight and your height, kind of like your BMI is what I was talking about. So you'd go on this chart that's over here to the right, and you'd find your height. Okay, so if you're 5'8" and you weigh 165 pounds, you'd follow along here, find your height, and then go over to where it is your weight. And then at the bottom, it'll tell you if you're in the column that you get 1 point, if you get 2 points, or if you get 3 points. So you fill all of these answers in with the amount of points, and then you total up your score at the bottom. If you scored a 5 or higher, then you are considered at risk for diabetes. So you would qualify using this risk test. Another way to qualify, as I mentioned, was through a blood test. So if you've had any blood work done, the blood work would need to have been conducted within the past year of the start of our program. So we are looking to start our program on Thursday, June 3rd. In 2021, if you have had a blood test, either a fasting blood glucose test or a hemoglobin A1C test within the last year, since last June 3rd, then you could use that number, that data, to also qualify you for this program. We would need a copy eventually of that printout of what your blood results were to include with our paperwork. But to be pre-diabetic, a fasting blood glucose would need to be in the range of 101 to 125 milligrams to deciliters. Okay. that is for a fasting blood test, so that you go in there, you fasted, you haven't, eaten or drinking anything except water for maybe the last 8 to 10 hours, and they take your blood sugar. It's testing your blood sugar as what it is at that moment, right then. The hemoglobin A1C, you don't have to fast for, because you go in there and it takes your blood glucose, but it kind of has an average. Over the past 3 months, this is on average what your blood glucose was. So say you've been really good for the past couple of months, but you have a bad week maybe. And that week, 1 week isn't going to blow your blood sugar completely out of the range, or so that's why we like the A1C test better, because it's more comprehensive. It's not just giving us a estimate of what it was at one time. It's generally over the last 3 months, where has your blood sugar been? And an A1C level to be considered pre-diabetic would be a 5.7 to 6.4. So if you have any blood work that you've done within the last year, since last June 3rd, 2020 to now, almost the end of May of 2021, then you could use those numbers to also qualify you for the diabetes prevention program. So I've given you information about how to be eligible. Now let's get back to what I mentioned before, that this program takes course over the span of a year. Okay, so we're not meeting, every single day or even every single week throughout that year. In fact, the first 16 weeks, we do meet weekly. So I guess you could say over the course of a year, the first 4 months roughly are weekly sessions. And we are planning to have these sessions in Person County. So the classes take place at the Person County office building, which is where the Cooperative Extension office is. We do have a room that we could socially distance out. If that's a concern, we could still do this, but we want you to feel comfortable. But we understand that the results that people get from this program, you're going to get better results if you are here in person for this class, because it helps you be a little bit more accountable. Because as I mentioned, you have to get on that scale every week. And you have other people in the class to help motivate you, to have those group discussions, because you're going to learn stuff from us as trained lifestyle coaches, but you're going to learn a lot and get a lot of information, suggestions, tips, things that you haven't even thought of from the other participants in the class who are experiencing exactly what you're experiencing, because they're pre-diabetic as well. So for the first 16 weeks, we do meet weekly. Then we kind of slowly start to wean you off of us, and we only meet twice a month for about 4 or so months. We do that. And then we meet once a month for the last roughly 4 months of the program. Sometimes we'll throw some extra sessions in there to help offer assistance, especially around the holidays, which we know can be difficult. And we try to provide information, those extra sessions, on topics that are most interesting to you, that are most concerning to you all. But we do have a curriculum from the CDC that we stick very closely to. We follow all the guidelines, and we are giving you the information from this curriculum. But we do offer a lot of other programs here at the Extension office that might provide additional and further help and support to you. So we always have other resources available too. All of our classes, the weekly ones and the post-course sessions every twice a month or once a month, all of our classes are only 1 hour. We're planning on doing them on Thursdays from 12 to 1 o'clock. So now I'm going to share the calendar that we have planned for that right now. So as I mentioned, we are looking to start this program on Thursdays. June 3rd, 2021 is the first date we are looking to start it. And you don't have to worry about the color coding on this schedule. It's more for us just to kind of show us, we broke it out by months. So you can see how many sessions we are having. So from June 3rd to September 16th, those are the first 16 weeks. Those are the core sessions. So all of those are going to be weekly. And then you can see from the calendar that starting in October, we have twice a month for October, November, December, and January. So for 4 months. And then the last 4 months, February through May of 2022, they are only once a month. So you're getting a lot of good information, a lot of good support. Now, I can tell you what other past participants have told us. I can't believe it's over. It went by so quickly. I don't want to leave. I'm going to miss all of you guys. I'm going to miss the constant support. I'm going to miss this program. So if you are interested in it, please don't get overwhelmed by the schedule. It really does go by quickly, and you have a lot of fun and you learn a lot of information from the program. But that's the schedule, which we can share with you through email as well. Now, I mentioned that the classes are from 12 to 1. Now, we give you that schedule at the beginning of the program, and we are asking you to stay committed to that. We have all of those dates on our calendars, and we ask you to do the same as well. We understand, of course, if you have a vacation or something like that you positively can't get out of or move or whatever, that it's okay if you miss a class here and there. We don't want it to be a constant habitual thing, because you are required to make up those classes. We try to, if say you miss the June 10th class, we try to get you on the very next week, June 17th. You would normally come on that Thursday from 12 to 1. We'll ask you to come at 11 o'clock. So you're coming an hour early to make up last week's session. So you would stay here that Thursday for 2 hours for your normal session, as well as the makeup would be before that. That's what we try to do. We understand, especially in Person County, there's always a possibility of inclement weather during certain months. So if we needed to reschedule or make up a class, like the whole group was missing it, we would definitely do that. And that might be an opportunity where we are able to use Zoom or technology to help us get those classes made up. So we just want you to fully understand that. So if you do decide to enroll in this program, you understand the time commitment and the expectations, because we're going to be here for you too. We're asking that you do the same thing, and you want to be here for the class sessions. You don't want to have to do the makeups that are kind of one-on-one, because you miss the group experience. You miss all of the input from your other people. You miss the group activities. You miss some of the fun. So just a reminder of the expectations is to commit to attend those sessions, all of the core sessions and the post-core sessions. I mentioned, we are highly encouraging people that we want to do this program in person. You get more from it. You have better benefits. You're able to connect with your fellow participants a lot more. But on the rare occasions that we might need to do a makeup or something like that, we do have the ability possibly to do a virtual session with you. You understand, I've already mentioned the 2 goals of the program. We constantly bring these up, reminding you, if you start slipping, what were the 2 goals of the program? You agreed to work towards a 5 to 7% weight loss. You also agreed to be active or work towards being active for 150 minutes a week. So we ask you to track your food, track your beverages, as well as track your physical activity. And we look at these, we make comments, we make suggestions. We also praise you if you're doing something great. And if you start to have some problems, maybe you notice that your weight's slipping and you putting a pound or 2 back on, we might even give you your food log back and say, do you notice anything that might be, hurting you or slowing down your weight loss? So that is a requirement too. We get a little bit more involved in that. Like at the very beginning, we're just like, just write down what you're eating or drinking. Then we might ask for a little bit more information as we get further into the program. Do you know about how many calories that was? Instead of just saying a sandwich, what kind is a sandwich? Instead of saying a drink, is it a tea, 12 ounce, 8 ounce? What are you talking about here? Because the more information that we have, the more that we can help you achieve your goals. We have in here to participate in other activities or assignments. Don't worry, there's not homework or anything like that. But for example, if we're doing a lesson on nutrition labels, we might ask you, hey, for the class next week, go home and get a nutrition label off of something in your pantry and bring it into next week's class so we can use it for one of our activities. I also teach other programs and workshops that I will make you aware of. And if you are interested in, they are always completely optional to participate in. It could be that we encourage you to, go become a member at the senior center gym or something like that. Or don't forget the wonderful parks that have walking tracks or group fitness classes or whatever. We're going to make you aware of all of the opportunities. It's your choice if you choose to participate in all of those extra things. We do have a modest registration fee of $25. I say modest because if we were looking at pricing this program, if we had to offer the program to you and charge you completely for it, for the curriculum, the materials, the incentives, all of that, it would cost you about $300 to $400 per person to participate in this program. Thankfully, we have funding from a regional opportunity that helps us reduce that registration fee. So you are only paying $25, but we still don't want that to be a deterrent. So if you need assistance, please don't hesitate to call us and have a conversation about your concern of the registration fee. And you heard me mention incentives. Well, I'm not going to tell you exactly what they are. We're just going to kind of dangle that carrot out in front of you. But we give incentives for the program. You will more than get your $25 back in incentives. We have a couple of incentives that, in fact, are $25 alone themselves. But that's why we also go back to you don't want to miss the classes, because in order to get the incentives, you have to be here. You have to weigh yourself. You have to participate in the classes, and you have to be committed to the program. This is not a program where you just come in and you sit and you listen and then you grab your prize and leave. You have to commit to the work, to working towards those two goals of the weight loss of 5 to 7% and working towards the 150 minutes of physical activity. So kind of to wrap things up, a reminder that this is not a diet or an exercise program. We don't like the diet word. It's a 4-letter word, and we try not to use it because we want to change your life. This is a lifestyle change program, and we provide information to help you make small little changes over a long period of time so that you can have a lifelong impact. Diets and those things are not really successful because they're successful in the short term. They do really good. You lose weight, you feel better, you're healthier, but then you stop doing the diet and you go back to the same habits and the same things you were doing before that got you close to being at risk for diabetes. We do limit this program to 12 participants because we want to have a close-knit group, a group that we can have a good group discussion and we're not completely overwhelmed because we have too many people that we need to get input from. So we do limit it to 12 people. So if you are interested in participating in this program, if you have any questions, you can always contact either Leanne Cresson from the Health Department, or again, I'm Jennifer Brown from the North Carolina Cooperative Extension Service. These are our phone numbers. If I will also share some of the other handouts with you. I can do that through email, put that information on our website. You can check out videos that we have on our Facebook page at Person Granville FCS. My page is called Food for Thought. And we have 2 former diabetes prevention program participants that have given us kind of a little testimonial video about how this program helped them and the benefits that they got from it and how much they enjoyed the program. You can find those videos again on our Facebook or our YouTube page at Person Granville FCS. But before I end, I want to show you one last thing. This is a piece of paper that we would get you to fill out. In addition to the paper risk test that I already showed you, it's kind of like our survey or application for the program. we want this information from you. So first of all, it's who you are, where you live, email, date of birth, that kind of stuff, just basic demographics. Then we have 11 questions that we need you to answer, letting us know, have you ever been told that you're pre-diabetic? If you have you had a blood test to prove that? Have you been told if you had gestational diabetes, which would help qualify you for the program? Again, if you have been told that you have type 1 or type 2 diabetes, this program is not for you, but we have lots of other resources available. And then what did you score on the pre-diabetes risk test that I went over with you? If you had blood work done within the last year, since June 3rd of 2020 to now, if you've had an A1C test, or if you've had a fasting blood sugar test, what was that number? And when did you have that test? Also, talking about your BMI has to be 25 or higher. If you give us your height and your weight, we can calculate your body mass index for you. But you can also go online to your body mass index calculator and determine that as well. I've mentioned the program schedule. I've already showed you the dates that we're meeting. So you have to answer yes or no. Are you willing to and able to commit to attending as many of those sessions as possible? And if you miss a class, willing to commit to attending a makeup session? Are you willing to keep track of your physical activity minutes? And are you willing to keep track of your food and beverages every week of the program? These are requirements, and these are going to also help you achieve your goals. And then just for our information, we want to know if you have an email or if you're using the internet, which if you're watching this video, that's probably a yes then. But occasionally we send reminders out or let you know about other upcoming events that are going on in the community. So it's always helpful if you have an email, but it's not required, but we do want that information. So if you have any questions or need any more information, please don't hesitate to call. I'm going to actually put my email address up here as well. Please feel free to email me. It is jennifer.brown@ncsu.edu. I'd be more than happy to email you the attachments that I've showed you, the risk test and the survey, as well as the schedule. And I'm always available to answer any questions. I look forward to possibly seeing you in our next diabetes prevention program. Thanks for joining us, and let me know if you have any questions. Bye.